Thank you. Thank you. Hi, I'm Richard Vey. Welcome to Truster. What is Truster? It's a computer program that analyzes your voice instantly. It can tell whether or not you're telling the truth. And when it's used properly, it's 98% accurate. Here's how it works.
Truster analyzes the voice and provides answers. The variety of answers include truth, not sure, high stress, and false statement.
I'm joined here by Dean. He's our Truster expert, and you're going to be helping me analyze the findings of Truster throughout the show.
Correct.
But first, can you tell us why Truster is so different? What makes it unique?
Well, the unique thing about Truster is that it instantaneously measures the speaker's voice so that we can tell whether they're lying or telling the truth.
The second they speak.
The second they speak.
True or false?
Exactly.
That's what makes it so incredible. And Dean is joined by our other Truster experts. They're down here operating the computers. But all of us here today have one goal, and that's to help our guests find the truth. Now, there's a phenomenon that is all too common, and it's called wife swapping, and I'm sure you've heard something about it, but probably don't know too much about it. Yesterday, we interviewed two couples who have decided to wife swap. The wife swapping was to take place just last night, and our cameras followed them to the room which the four of them were going to share. Here's what they had to say yesterday about why they even wanted to do this.
Sometimes you need a little bit of spark and fire, and I think rather than him finding another person that he can cheat on me, I think he feels that this might be a better option for us.
I've been married for quite a few years, and I've never been with another woman. You know, I've been very faithful to my wife. And, you know, I'm getting, you know, in my 40s and just want to kick up my heels and, you know.
Well, I want to do this with my husband because when I was married before, my husband cheated on me and I was not part of the game, and I didn't like that.
I'm doing this because it's something I've been told is interesting to do.
Yeah. All right, the swap did take place just last night, and both couples are here. But we want to use Truster to find out how they really feel about what happened. So let's meet our first married couple. This is Gail and Dave. Welcome to Truster. Gail, Dave, thank you so much for joining us today. Gail, all of this was your idea. Why your idea?
Because I've been in the lifestyle for over 10 years.
All right.
As a single lady.
As a single lady, but now you're a married lady. How does swapping relate to the vow of marriage, which is basically to assign yourself to one person? How do you bring those two things together?
Okay, I was married once before. And during that marriage, my husband cheated on me. He did it behind my back. So when I found out, I was hurt, I felt betrayed, and I felt like I was missing out on something.
Well, you're not exactly sure about that missing out, but I'll tell you this, up until that point, you were telling the absolute truth, and what it seems to lead to is you'd rather see him cheating before your eyes than behind your back.
At least I know what he's doing.
That said high stress, Dean, but it was a truthful statement.
Truth, yes.
Okay.
Very stressful.
Now, Dave, you had not done this before.
No.
Not before last night.
No.
When Gail broached the idea, what was your reaction?
Well, I've been aware of it quite a while, and it was just fortunate that it came across this at this opportune time. You know, we've been establishing a relationship and foundation so that this was her lifestyle.
Well, wait a second, you're back on the truth now, and I wanted to see how far you were going to lie. Because Truster was showing us that there were a string of lies in there. What is the real reaction you had, and why did you agree to go along with it? It wasn't a highfalutin idea that you just gave us. What was the real reason?
Well, I wanted to have sex with another woman.
Well, let's bring on that other woman, but let's also bring on her husband and find out what their feelings were about swinging just last night. Let's bring on our next couple, Curtis and Melanie, husband and wife. They have been backstage, but they could not hear the comments that were just made. All right, Curtis and Melanie. Have you guys done this before, or was last night the first night for you? Melanie, what about you?
Yeah, it was the first time we'd have ever attempted anything like that.
You guys have never swapped partners before?
No.
Curtis, what were your feelings about going forward with this? Why did you do it?
I was, you know, I've always just kind of wanted, I mean, we've been married for 21 years, and just, you know, I've only been with her, and I thought, you know, we're not getting any younger when we're 80 years old and in a wheelchair, you know, or a rocker or whatever, we might as well.
I heard that one before, too. Is that coming up truthful?
It's coming up stressed but truthful.
Stressed but truthful, so that's the thing. You want, you know, you only live once. Let me live it as a blonde.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I guess I'm stressed out because it didn't
As a
turn out
blonde
like
swinger.
I thought it would. That was the
Okay.
problem. Yeah.
What feelings did this experience last night bring out in you?
Well, you know, like I said, in our private life, we talked about this, and actually, when I saw her with Dave, I was, you know, it was a turn on. It really was a visual turn on. But then it went beyond that, and that's where the real stress for me came in.
Were you bothered by what he was doing to your wife?
Yeah, I was.
Would you tell him that right now?
Dave, I just, you know, to be quite honest with you, it wasn't real cool that you did her.
Melanie, you haven't said a word, and you seem a little upset there and a little uptight, maybe, for somebody who's done something that was so free. What are your feelings today?
Well, I was very, very apprehensive going into the situation because I've never done this before. And in our private life, I've asked for this.
I got a false statement up here. You've done this before?
No.
I have to tell you something, Melanie. And why don't you turn around and tell him you haven't done this before?
I've never done this before.
It says not sure. Melanie, Truster's pretty much accurate. 98%. Is there anything you want to tell us now that is the truth about this? Have you ever been in some situation like this before?
Well, maybe been in a situation like that, but maybe haven't gone all the way, you know?
It's saying inaccurate here. How long have you guys been married?
21 years.
So if you did this, it must have been in the course of your marriage. Curtis, what's your reaction to hearing this? I mean, you obviously thought she had never done anything like this before. Truster says that she has done something like this before. And Dean, is that what I'm reading here? Because I'm seeing, I'll tell you this, as soon as you started to say, no, I've never done this, and play the little virginal Bo Peep, Truster started going,
Yes,
Truster started blushing red. It said false statement, it went inaccuracy.
she's exaggerating. She has done something, but she won't tell us to what degree.
Is there anything you want to tell Curtis right now while we're on Truster?